Hey guys, it's Brian. Welcome back to another video, and I hope you guys are enjoying the face cam. This was something that I've been trying to work on for a while, especially with the software, but I've been having issues with it. So I'm finally able to make it work, and I hopefully will be able to go ahead and present more guys videos like this in the future, and maybe even go ahead and play some games while recording, so you can go ahead and see my thought process while I'm playing the game. So before I get into the deck profile in detail, I do want to thank you guys for understanding as far as any delays, and hopefully Shaddolls do get support in the future. I understand that the poll out of nowhere, Sacred Beast came up and took first prize. They took first place, and Shaddolls came in second at the recording of this video. So we really do, as Shaddoll players, hope that we do get the support in the future, as the deck really does deserve it. Also, on a side note, I'm kind of upset that Dragon was the only one that didn't get a reprint and Beast got the reprint instead. Honestly, I felt it should have been the other way around, that Beast should have been left out and Dragon got the reprint, because Beast already has 2 versions of the card, and Dragon only has a rare, while the rest of the Shaddolls are going to get ultras and supers. So that's just my opinion. Anyways, let's get right into the profile. Keep in mind this is in alphabetical order based off of DuelingBook, not exactly the way I would order things. So I'm going to try and go through it as brief as possible. I don't want to go ahead and give too much of an explanation, but I do want to go ahead and make sure you guys understand what's the thought process behind each card. So we have one Black Dragon Collapse Serpent mainly in here because you can search it off of the White Dragon Wiper Burster, and not only that, most of your deck is dark, so you really don't want to be drawing this card because you don't have a way of going into it and extending your plays. Next, for our danger lineup, we have 2 Bigfoot, big body, and not only that, it gets a pop-up card, so you don't really want to draw much of your force to go first, but this is a great card to go second. Next, we have the 1 Chupacabra. Don't want to run multiples of it, even though it's a level 4. So the reason why you don't want to run multiples is because you don't want to see this in your opening hand. You would rather see this mid to late game, or even after you just started already going to your combo. So in case you are already going to discard it, hey, you would rather have something in your graveyard already to bring back in case you do happen to have that card hit out of your hand. Next we have 3 Mothman and 2 Nessies, just a way to 2 your deck and 2 your other cards. So this is just mainly in here for that. Next we have the 1 Destrudo, great way of extending your plays. Wouldn't recommend going into this card too often, but you can run other cards in your deck to run this card. Alright, so for example, you can run cards like Black Rose, you can run cards like War Savage, like the way I have, but I'll get to that later on. Next we have the card that you really want to send off of Construct almost every time, which is the Electromagnetic Turtle. This card is in here because this forces your opponent to either get rid of this card first before trying to go ahead and go for game, or this make sure that they waste a turn just getting their board set up to make sure that you can go ahead and just survive an extra turn, and hopefully that extra turn can buy you enough time to go ahead and just game your opponent, or at least establish a fair game state for you. Next we have another one of our techs, which is Keeper of Dragon Magic. This is only at 1 because it triggers your danger effects, and this is an Ash bait, but in case they don't Ash you, you get to search your Shaddoll Fusion out of your deck to your hand. The 1 Mathematician, because your normal summons are very reliant, you don't want to run too many of them, because you're pretty much just going to be special summoning a lot in your deck, and so you would rather go ahead and keep this as a way of just saying, okay, I'm going to send 1 card that I need, which could be the Parapero, could be the Electromagnetic Turtle, could be a Skomata that will lead into a Beast. So you have options there. Speaking of, we are running 2 copies of Parapero Cerberus. This is a card I have not taken out of Shaddolls ever since this card was released, simply for the fact that you never know when you need to destroy something on the field, and in case you don't draw anything that you might need. This is a great discard card, and it's also a great fusion card to go into your Shekinaga. Next we have the card that shouldn't have been reprinted, but even though it's one of the best cards of the deck, which is Shaddoll Beast. Shaddoll Beast is a draw 1 if you send it to the graveyard with a card effect, but if you happen to go ahead and flip it face up, you get to go ahead and draw 2 and then send 1. Well, in this case, discard 1. But since the cards do not trigger off of off a cost, this is very common that people get this confused that this is a cost, and I have to remind people, Shaddolls do not trigger off a cost. So keep that in mind if you're ever going to use any cost, like let's say a Divine Wrath, Mass Change Second like I have in the deck. So keep in mind your Shaddolls will not trigger with those. They will trigger with the resolution of Mass Change Second if you're using a Shaddoll monster for the fusion summon, but that's as far as it'll go. Next we have Shaddoll Dragon. Shaddoll Dragon is a one-of because you don't really need it. It's a good beat stick, but you don't really need the pop effect most of the time. It is a great way of getting rid of certain cards. Let's say for example Colossus, because you either flip it into the back of the issue deck, but you have to have ways to back it up. Next we have the one Shaddoll Falco. It's great as a tuner, it's great as a monster to send because it revives itself. So this is a card that allows you to go ahead and stall a little bit or grind depending on how you see it. Next we have the one Shaddoll Hedgehog. This is mainly in here as a searcher for your monsters. However, in case you really do need the fusion or you're desperate for a fusion, you can always just go ahead and set a Falco, revive it with the Hedgehog, and search your Shaddoll Fusion or Shaddoll Fusion. So it's a great option to have. And then we're following up with my favorite, and in my opinion the best Shaddoll monster in the whole deck, which would be Shaddoll Schemata. Shaddoll Schemata sends any Shaddoll card from your deck to the graveyard, so it doesn't limit itself to the monsters. And not only that, you get to go ahead and destroy a monster on the field, and that doesn't necessarily mean your opponent could be any monster, but you do need a target. But this usually is activated during damage when you flip it face up. Also, on a side note, if you ever want to run Shaddoll Core in this deck, I highly recommend it, but I would have to recommend taking out one of the cards that you deem is not necessary. Let's say if you do not wish to run Destrudo, you can feel free to take out Destrudo. Oh, but this is simply an option I am giving you as a way of just going ahead and making sure you have certain plays. Next we have 3 copies of Thunder Dragon. This is to filter through our deck and to get into your Colossus as fast as possible, since most of the time you will be able to go ahead and go into the Colossus by just summoning the Thunder Dragon off of a Monster Reborn, off of the Dragon Hawk, or you can just go ahead and summon it with Saryuja's effect. Speaking of the Dragon Hawk, we are running 1 copy of it. This is great if you happen to have the Black Dragon to banish off of it. However, if you don't, you can just go ahead and revive a Thunder Dragon from your graveyard to the graveyard to the field, and go into your Colossus from there. Next we have a 2 White Dragon Wyvern Burster. Great card to go ahead and go into your construct if you already have it on the field, or to go ahead and just extend to your plays by going into your Saryuja, having more cards to go ahead and go into any of the cards you need for your game state. Next we have 3 Allure of Darkness. This is just the draw card of my choice for the deck. You can run cards like Dark Word Dealings or Hand Destruction at your choice, but I wouldn't recommend it because I do not want to give my opponent cards unless I have a Dark Love, but I would rather just keep my own cards, and that could affect my hand at any time. Next we have the 1 El Shaddoll Fusion. This is simply a one-up because you can send it off of any Schemata or construct and you get it back later, especially when you're linking off the monsters. So this is just an option to have. 1 Foolish Burial, you have multiple cards that either trigger or is good in the graveyard on its own. So this is just a card to have, and I highly recommend playing it, especially in this format, especially since this is an Ash bait as well. Next, we have Mass Change Second. This card is a cost, and not only that, if you happen to use, let's say for example, Schemata for the material, this will trigger its effect, so it's a great card to have. Next, we have the 1 Monster Reborn because you're already sending a lot of cards to your graveyard, so it's a great card to have. 3 Shaddoll Fusion. This is a going second deck, By the way, I built it. So card, because you get to force your opponent to respond to this card, and if they don't have a response, then you're pretty much just going to go ahead and continue to go through your deck, go through your deck, go through your deck. And if they don't stop you before you get, let's say for example, Super Poly, then they're not going to be able to respond in time, and it's going to be too late. And speaking of Super Poly, we have 2 copies of Super Poly. If we had 3, we would run 3, because this is a going second deck, and all the Shaddoll monsters can go ahead and be fusion summoned, because all the Shaddoll fusions are for each element, and we don't run 2 of them, which is Wendigo and Anoyatilis, mainly because there are no water ones, and let's be honest, those 2 are bad. That and the Wendigo. Those 2 are really, really bad. So heading into our extra deck, we're going to of course start with Bay, which is the El Shaddoll construct. This card is mainly your go-to play to start out, so that you can go through your deck and then start going ahead and linking it away, probably bring it back with the Monster Reborn, depending on what it is at the moment, but this is just mainly a combo starter in this deck. Next we have one of our Super Poly targets, which is El Shaddoll Grista. This is mainly in here as a way of going ahead and going against your Salamangreat Great matchup. So in case that you want to go ahead and bait out a Roar, you can go ahead and use Shaddoll Fusion. If they don't use the Shaddoll Fusion, if they don't negate the Shaddoll Fusion, you can just go ahead and normal summon something, El Shaddoll Grista, and then now you have a way of just negating their summons from here on out. Because Shaddoll Grista will negate the special summon of a monster by just sending a Shaddoll monster from your hand to the graveyard. And again, these are not cost. I'm going to repeat that as many times as I feel necessary, but Shaddolls do not trigger off a cost. Next we have one El Shaddoll Shikinaga. Only running 1, don't really need it as far as damage is concerned, but it is a good card to go into as far as making sure you have a big body on board in case you need to defend yourself, and it also negates monster effects. And in my opinion, the best Shaddoll monster, because you can make it anytime, and it's also a great way of disrupting your opponent, El Shaddoll Wind Up. Pretty much, it can't be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. And not only that, you get to go ahead and pretty much limit your opponent from only special summoning once that turn. So, and if they are running anything, let's say Nightmares or Orcus, then you're really just saying fuck you to them. Next we have the one Dark Law. Dark Law with, let's say for example, a Mothman or a Bigfoot is great, because you get to go ahead and get rid of 1 card, and not only that, if they try to add anything, they'll go ahead and get rid of a card from their hand as well, and it might be even the card that they add. Next we have the 1 Starving Venom. It's mainly in here in case you want to go ahead and get rid of 2 of your opponent's monsters, let's say for example 2 Colossus or anything like that. So it's just an option to have. Speaking of Colossus, we're running our own copy of Colossus. So this is great with Super Poly, because if you're playing against Thunder Dragons, you have a way of just going ahead and summoning this using a fusion. Or you can just go ahead and use Thunder Dragon's effects to go ahead and get into the card as well. Next, we're playing 1 Black Rose Moonlight Dragon. I would have run Black Rose Dragon itself, but because I believe that the format is mostly you're just going to go ahead and void spam, I'd rather go ahead and put this card in, because it gets to get rid of a monster that was in the extra deck that can be really a big pain in the ass, like a Colossus or a Titan in certain cases. So it's a good card to have because it doesn't destroy the card. Next, we have World of Savage Dragon. We run a lot of high-level monsters, and we can go ahead and synchro into this by just going ahead and, say for example, using targeting a Hedgehog, and then just going ahead and targeting a Dragon or Shamana, and synchroning it with the Beast or a Window, depending on what is on the field, and if they negate the window or not. So this is just an option I have. As our 1 rank 4, we have the 1 Abyss Dweller. if you're going to run this in the going second deck, like this is the best card in my opinion, because a lot of decks, especially Samurai Great, you want to go ahead and stop their plays in case you're not able to OTK them. You have the one Lamphalinkus because you never know what monsters you may have, and you need to get to the link too to make sure you have multiple extra deck monsters. So it's just an option to have. The one Skull Dread because you do get into the card a lot. The one Traverse because it's also an additional negation battle and does piercing. And it's also a great way of just making sure that your Lamphalinkus doesn't stay on the field as an easy target. Next, our last Link monster, we use Apprentice. And this is a great card, even if you already have a Link monster out. Like say for example Sarnicham, because you get to boost all the other monsters. So I would highly recommend playing this card. And what I like about this deck in general is that you can alter it to focus more on milling, or you can focus it on more of disruptions. So if you would like to see a mill version of the deck, or if you would like to see a board spam version of the deck, go ahead and let me know. But if you want the board spam, you would go ahead and run cards like Sky Blaster and O-Line, like the Phantom Beast, to make sure you get into those cards. But those are just options, you do have options to go into. And I'm also working on a Orcus version of this deck in case something does not get hit. So keep an eye on that if I do manage to release it. Anyways, that's the deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope to see you guys again next time. See ya!